Hey, Michael here. On May 23rd, 2026, I am hosting my first ever live show with my guest, Jesse Brown, at Patina Art Gallery on Michigan Street. I would love to see you there. The show begins at 2 o'clock, but you can show up at 1:30, and it's also free to come if you choose. The show is also pay what you want. So if you choose to give any money, I am splitting your price of admission between myself, Jesse Brown, and Patina Art Gallery. We plan to be outside, but if it rains or if it doesn't, there's an active art gallery inside known as Big Paintings, done by local artists Lily Groot and Lizzie Bilbrey. I would love to see you there, and if you want more information and or tickets, you can go to oneyear.thirdspaceindy.com. See you there and enjoy the episode.
Scared rabbit, they've got you boxed in. Old habit, you draw the curtain. Lonely only if they ever leave. Do you feel?
Hello, my name is Michael Zarek, and this is Third Space Indy. In 1989, a man named Ray Oldenburg wrote a book called The Great Good Place. In this book, he coined the term the third place. This describes a place that is outside of your home and outside of your work, that you can go be with others and build community. So I've made it my goal to find people all over Indianapolis who are doing their very best to make these types of spaces. Today, I'm joined with a very good friend of mine who in many ways is like an older sister, who...
Like a mean older sister? Or like a nice one?
Depends on how you define mean. Who I regularly force to buy me things, mostly involving food or drink, and is somebody I've come to respect greatly because of her connection to the community and her fervor for the things she believes in, I think is probably a correct word. So that brings me to my guest today, Miss Andrea Watts.
Yay.
What's up?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Also, quick plug, we're at Canal Bistro, our favorite place to eat. Pro tip, order the tabbouleh with beef shawarma on top.
Yeah.
And extra pita so you can make a sandwich.
So actually, before we get into you specifically, the way we met is I reached out to you on LinkedIn, a very professional thing to do while I was unemployed. And I said, hey, I heard that you're Lebanese too.
Heck yeah.
And you were like, I love that. Let's get lunch. And so I was like walking downtown. Do you remember this? We were like, do you want to go to, what's the place? Is it
on
Petra?
Petra on Mass Ave.
You were like, do you want to go to Petra? I was like, sure. And then I was like, can you come pick me up? Because I was like in the middle of nowhere.
No, let's go somewhere in Broad Ripple.
And then you're like, oh, I live in Broad Ripple too, so let's go up here. So then we ended up at Canal Bistro, and you ordered the regular, which is now my regular order, which is the one you outlined, which is the tabbouleh salad with, what'd you say?
It's
Beef
delightful,
shawarma.
yeah. And then the wife is Lebanese, and the husband is Egyptian, and this is a great spot right next to the Monon, and it's got an amazing patio, and we're right by the Rainbow Bridge. It's just a really colorful, cool place to hang.
Both of this episode and the last episode have both sounded like ads because I just happened to be at a restaurant when we did it. But thank you for these guys for letting us record here. The server today was really kind.
Yeah, she was. She loved your shirt.
She did love my shirt.
Yeah.
Flex, if you're watching on YouTube. So Andrea, for those who may not know who you are, will you take a second to tell the people who you are, what you're about, and what you do?
Yeah. I am born and raised in Indianapolis, so grew up here.
Went to high school. That's important.
Westfield High School.
Okay.
Home of the Shamrocks. It's my 20-year reunion this year.
That's right. Wasn't there something we wanted to go do, and you're like, I can't. I have to.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm gonna organize.
I'm on the organizing committee, and then Senator Hunley's having her campaign launch. So now I'm like helped to organize my 20-year reunion, but I'm not attending because I have priorities. So me and a couple other friends are going to do like a mini reunion.
Yeah, the ones you actually like.
Yeah.
Not the ones you like cringe to look at.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Westfield High School?
Yeah, Westfield High School, but grew up in Pike Township. So yeah, went to Pike Township schools for a minute. And then really fun in high school, I got the opportunity to attend North Central, they have something called the J. Everett Light Career Center, and I went for radio TV. So you could like get a little like...
You did like similar to Anna.
Yeah.
But
like,
you went to Ben Davis.
Yeah.
I didn't
like,
know North Central had a career center.
They do. They had like a cosmetology school, like mechanic stuff. So if you just wanted to do like a 2-year program, that was an option. And I appreciate that. I did go on to go to Ball State, the Letterman School, and had a great time, and then ended up in Indianapolis, and I've stuck around since then. So,
shout out to David Letterman, Broad Ripple native.
I also like that Letterman has a C student scholarship, just to like celebrate mediocrity, because like he's a C student and went to Broad Ripple High School. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know if it still exists. I know that when I was at Ball State, it was a thing that existed.
I would like that scholarship for myself.
Hilarious.
Can you talk a little bit about Health by Design as well?
Yeah. Health by Design is a nonprofit and advocacy organization that works to better the built environment. The built environment, sidewalks, crosswalks, bridges, all sorts of things. And it's not just that. It's like things, core pillars of like access to green space, access to transit, safe routes to school, responsible land use. The way that how we choose what goes on the land impacts our public health. So yeah,
great. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about you.
Yeah.
So you grew up here in Indianapolis in a variety of places.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Actually, from what I understand, you've lived in more places as an adult than you did as a child.
Yeah. Yes.
Around town.
Yeah.
So how have you seen like Indianapolis change since you were a kid? I'm kind of interested in that.
For sure. So when I was a kid, there wasn't really the cultural trail. There wasn't a lot of the awesome infrastructure that exists today. I feel like with the launch of Greater Indy Trailways, trails are having a moment in central Indiana, and in the donut counties as well. I think that people are seeing these as essential infrastructure for, not just quality of life, but also for their health. But yeah, I think it's changed a lot in that way.
So when I think about how Anna talks about, so I grew up in Louisville, and someone asked me if I've had multiple people ask me if I like Louisville more or less than Indianapolis. And I think at this point, and the way I talk about it is that I think if you look at both cities historically, they are very similar. The way their makeup is now, they're very similar. So Indianapolis had Unigov, Louisville had a similar policy thing happen where they became metropolitan. Yeah. And with white flight sort of destroying the downtown area, and then a mid 2010s revival effort like we saw here in Indianapolis. Like I think the historical mistakes are the same and the modern day resolution to those mistakes are very similar. I think at the end of the day, I think what I see for Indianapolis is a better vision for the future and a better potential also. Sure. I don't live in Louisville, but that's my perception at this time. I wonder if you feel similarly about the way you've seen Indianapolis develop over the past half of your life.
And I also think Indianapolis is, this major sports city where we've become a world-class host. So when I think about examples of the Super Bowl, what was that, 2012, when we hosted, and all of the things that Indianapolis did to make the city more vibrant. They increased the public arts. A lot of money incentivized owners to open up businesses, and they made it easier for downtown-ish businesses to get access to liquor licenses and stuff. So a lot of, I feel like from that era, mom and pop shops opened. So just from a retail perspective and just a city becoming a more livable, fun place to see and experience, I think that helped us. I know that there's a million other things as well. During the Peterson era was when cultural districts were born. And now I feel like especially when you look at the cultural districts, and they did money for districts, so like Broad Ripple Village Association and Fountain Fletcher District and other Massachusetts Avenue. When you see the arts and culture stuff in our city thriving, it's pretty exciting.
How did you get to be interested in your current like goals in life, which is like to make Indianapolis more walkable and more well, as you said, improve the built environment for people?
Well, I was a bureaucrat for about 6 years. So I worked in city government, started off in the Parks Department, worked in the mayor's office for a brief stint, and then worked for the Department of Metropolitan Development. And I found myself really attracted to the projects that thought about Indianapolis like 50 years from now. So the White River Vision Plan, the Indy Moves Transportation Plan, the things that keep people here. And, when we talk about like talent attraction and the brain drain and like keeping graduates here, I think people want to live in a city where there's a lot of green space. One of my like consulting clients is Rethink 6570. And when we posted renderings of highway caps, there were people in the comments saying, this makes me want to move back to Indianapolis. And like that.
Can you define what a highway cap is?
Yeah, a highway cap is when, so like there's, for example, at the South Split where there's already the idle park, it would be like the idle park, but all around the highway. So what people would experience is green space, retail, trails or some sort of thing, and then like the local, traffic that goes through, but like at a slower pace. But I think, Indiana likes to tout their innovation when it comes to like life sciences and all these under industries and tech and entrepreneurship. But what about innovation when it comes to infrastructure, right? I would love...
Speed City.
I know. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. I feel like there's so much more we could be doing, and we have so much potential, but it's frustrating, right? For that to be so progressive in a place like...
Well, you said something that I think about a lot, which is we moved from Northwest Arkansas, so Fayetteville, Bentonville, the home of Walmart and the Walton family, the evil overlords of Northwest Arkansas. However, Walmart has figured out exactly what you said, which is that no one wants to move to Northwest Arkansas unless there are nice things there.
Yeah.
So the Walton family has invested in beautiful pedestrian infrastructure, beautiful cycling infrastructure, great restaurants, great like art. Like there's a beautiful museum there that is mostly a pet project of Alice Walton, but I think at the end of the day, it's also an attraction point for like talent. So as bad of a corporation as Walmart is to exist, like they have come to the understanding that to attract talent to the region, like people have to want to live there.
Oh, absolutely.
They do a lot of stuff that like is a little more aggressive outside of that, like requiring their vendors to like be there. But I think they've also realized that like no one wants to work for Walmart proper or like operate infrastructure for them if they don't want to be there. And I think that speaks to like what you were talking about, where it's like, I think we struggle with this from artists to professionals to, not that artists aren't professionals, but this idea of like keeping people in the region to stick around if we aren't supporting them in whatever way we can. Absolutely. What do you think of that?
No, I agree with you completely. I have a question for you now. Who do you think is like the Walton family of Indianapolis?
Lily.
So like Lily Endowment with...
well, I want you to picture Lily's campus downtown.
Yeah.
There is a soccer field.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody play soccer at Lily? I don't think so. But there's this understanding that you want to create a space that people want to exist in. They have beautiful landscaping. They have a soccer field. They have a nice walkable
kind of like
campus.
Weaving trails through it.
Even just like East Street where they are is a pleasant place to be. And I think they don't influence the city, and they just do it on the land that they own, versus Walmart kind of has this sort of looming force where they are actually influencing the policy. But I feel like Lily is that, and kind of Salesforce, but not really. They're not based here.
Yeah.
They just have a building. If you were to answer that question for yourself, what would it be? The same?
Yeah, I think about the Lilly Endowment. I think about...
Oh my God, yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, and the Simon family with what they do.
What's the Simon family based in?
Arts and stuff. I feel like their foundation stuff is through under the Central Indiana Community Foundation umbrella. Mm-hmm. And then who else? Ephraimson family. Yeah, but I just think about the philanthropy that exists in Indianapolis and how the Glick family, how lucky we are to have the cultural trail, and the way that other cities come to us for the example of public-private partnership. But it's the philanthropy community, and I think the corporate foundation community that kind of makes up for, the money problems that the government can't spend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least at this time.
Yeah.
So whenever you and I hang out, we're just out and about, and you just always know people. And maybe you and I are similar in personality, so that's probably why we're just loud and annoying people.
Just opinionated yappers.
And people are drawn to that. So how have you found?
Or they think we're annoying.
And then they end up talking to us?
I
don't
want
know.
to think that we are beloved.
So how have you found so many
people
connections?
Yeah.
Here? Do you think it's your personality, or do you think they're drawn to you, or any of that type of thing?
I think when you find the things you care about and other people care about them too, it becomes this common thread and really easy to make connections. And that's something I've always been kind of, I guess, loud about, is how do we make Indianapolis a place where people want to stay? My entire life, I wanted to move to New York City. Mm-hmm. I had in fourth grade, I created this little life map of the things, and I wanted to be the next Katie Couric. Delusional. And but that was what I wanted to live in New York City and be a newscaster and all these things, or news anchor. And I love New York City, and every time I go there, I'm oh, the city is so much far ahead of us in all these other ways. But I feel Indianapolis has some really cool, sneaky cool components to it that feel a little bit we're a big city and we have this incredible art scene. And, it's not just one gallery. There's galleries popping up in every corner of the city. And it's really, I think, beautiful to witness. And then I think what Pattern Magazine is doing with cultivating the creative economy and nurturing that is also really cool to see.
Creative economy.
You hate that buzzword?
It's a good thing because I deserve to be paid.
Yes.
Artists deserve to be paid.
Yeah. Donate to the pod if you're listening now. I'm a monthly subscriber.
I did not pay you to say that.
You didn't pay me to say that. I just care about your storytelling, and you're my friend. And I want you to keep doing it.
You said art galleries. You said Pattern. You said... Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
What... You are, by my perception, a successful professional.
Yeah. Thank you. Tell my mom.
Despite how you come off when we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Why did you never move to New York City?
Oh, Lord knows I applied to a ton of jobs. I remember I was on a bunch of young professionals groups and committees, and I resigned from all of them because I was it was during the pandemic, and I was just constantly applying to New York City jobs, wanting to move there, and just wanted a big shift for my life. And none of the jobs worked out. And I was I'm stuck here a little longer. And now all my siblings have moved back to Indianapolis. My brother has a baby. My mom moved back here. Like, I'm stuck. So I might as well make the best of it.
If please take this in a lighthearted tone.
No.
If your family were to disappear tomorrow, would you still desire to move?
Maybe. I don't know. I have like certain days where I'm like, I want like a cottage in Brown County.
I knew you like going to Brown County.
I love going to Brown County, and I love being away from people sometimes because God bless them, they exhaust me though.
I think some of the charm of Indianapolis is in a lot of ways that we are the crossroads of America.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have good traveling infrastructure that allows us to actually fulfill that.
Light rail.
But I think our proximity to, my hometown, Louisville, our proximity to Chicago, our St. Louis to an extent, even though it's equidistant from...
There's really cool stuff in Michigan, too.
And, even just, anything on the East Coast, in a lot of ways, we are the crossroads of America. Obviously, there's a level of distance from the West Coast, but that's just going to happen. That's, a different country in a way. I just think that there's a certain charm to living here in the middle, in the Midwest.
Yeah.
This is the most Midwest of cities. We're in the middle.
And also, I think with all of not that climate change isn't impacting the Midwest as well, I think more drastically it's impacting the coast. I think the more that time goes on, people are just gonna keep on coming here. Pack it right in.
You gotta be ready for it. What are you laughing?
I don't know.
Well, we gotta work on our current city so that we can accommodate those people.
I know. It's not filled with data centers first.
Let's talk about Drive Less April.
Oh yeah, Michael's the king. I forgot your crown.
Were you actually gonna give me a crown? A Burger King crown?
I'll make you a Burger King crown with IndyGo buses and trains
Oh,
on
I was
it.
gonna wear my safety vest from Saturday.
That's cute.
That was my goal, but I forgot. It's sitting on my floor.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who do not follow actively on Instagram, Andrea Watts is my rival for the month
Of April.
I texted you on March 30th. I said, I don't know how we got on the topic, but I was sort of like, hey, do you want to do a drive less challenge? Not drive less, drive less.
Yes.
To see who can drive less over the course of the month. And the outcome would be whoever drove less buys the other, or gets lunch from the other person. So far, I think I'm winning. However, I do want to offer an admission to you. So my wife is in France right now.
You've been driving her car?
I've driven her car once. It'll be twice by the time this comes out. I am going to do the math and add those miles, as well as the miles driven to the airport for your sake, to the amount driven for the month, because I feel that it's unfair otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really lazy. I haven't pumped up my bike tires. I haven't, because I want a man to do it for me. I'm a shitty feminist.
You say you wanted a man to do for you?
Yes,
You can't pump your own tires?
I just want somebody else to do it for me. I know. Gross. You can cut out that I'm a shitty feminist part.
I'm keeping that in.
Evil.
I think that's funny. Can you talk about, I guess, first of all, why did you accept this challenge?
I don't know, because I thought it'd be fun, and sometimes I'm delusional. And when I said yes, I was clearly in a good mood and thought I was gonna, be biking and walking and taking the IndyGo bus. I think I took the bus 3 times, and I don't know, I have family that lives in Hamilton County, and the only way you can get up there is drive. I wasn't about to rack up some Uber bills to win this challenge. I was I just sort of accepted defeat.
I don't think Uber is a good solution though.
The same way that I approached Whole30. I made it mid-month with my sister and my mom, but I kept sending them pictures of my food I was still in it.
That's crazy.
I know, but I couldn't do it. The no bread, no sugar.
So I guess this brings up, okay, so there's another thing that happens, which is it's called the no drive week or whatever. What happened?
Oh, week without driving.
Week without driving,
Yeah.
which is...
I can do a whole week. A whole month is a lot.
But why don't we talk about why that is?
Also, I went without a car for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Oh, you bought your car pretty recently.
Yeah.
That's right.
my Subi named Dolly.
Like, why are you finding it so difficult to not drive?
It feels like things are just pretty.
We're doing some internal analysis here.
Pretty spread out in Indianapolis, right? Also, sometimes getting from point A to point B, there's not protected bike lanes. There's not an easy access trail. I think that, especially because it's the entire county, that there's just so much infrastructure needs and improvement to do that it's hard if you're going across town to do it. I mean, I know people that do. They like live that awesome lifestyle. Also, every time you know, I get on a bike and I have to ride on the street, I'm like kind of like in the back of my mind, like, am I gonna die today? And
why don't you think that when you're in a car? I mean, do,
yeah,
straight up.
I guess, I don't know. I feel like it's funny when you hear about people that are like, I'm afraid of flying, and it's like the odds of you dying
the
in a car.
safest form of travel.
And I don't know. I feel like I'm just, I don't know. I think I hear about people with their kids too, and they want to turn Indy into a bike city, and they do like bike buses, and they do these things that make it part of like the cultural fabric of Indianapolis. But I don't know. I think when you look at examples of other cities, especially European cities, when you build it, people will adapt. When I think about the city of Paris and what their female mayor has done, I think it's Hidalgo or something, Anne Hidalgo. She's made drastic strides in their bike and pedestrian infrastructure. And if you look at the heat map of carbon emissions, it used to be like all red before, and now it's all green, and it's literally more healthy to breathe the air in Paris. I think Indianapolis has a really long way culturally, that mindset shift to go on that. I think that the war on cars rhetoric, and then people getting pissed about the phrase 15-minute cities and like all of these things, right? Is everything so politicized when you have the U.S. Secretary of Transportation saying we want auto-centric only infrastructure going in, and bike lanes, and the Reconnecting Communities grant that would help with that's what funded the highway cap study. That all of that's off the table, right? But yeah, it's really interesting to think about where we are as a nation with infrastructure and how that trickles down to the state level and then to the city level.
Yeah. You mentioned like Indianapolis being county-wide.
Yeah.
So I'm drilling in on you because you're the person I have.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to work remote, and then the places that I decide to go when I'm not working actively are often on the bus line.
Yeah.
How often are you going places in Indianapolis that are not near? Like, I could, like, you live up here near me.
Yeah.
You could very easily take the 19 to your office and back.
Yes.
Are you doing side adventures that's making it more difficult to do that, or
like I want to go to Trader Joe's, or I want to go to REI.
You definitely can't get to Trader Joe's by bus easily.
No, and then there's just like little things, and then like I think that there's just places around town, but when you like can decide your own schedule and like where you want to work from and what you want to do, if you want to like pick places that are along the Red Line or along we're going to pick places that are along the Monon Trail, and all of the retail that's popping up along the Monon Trail is super exciting. And then the way that they want to embrace the trail and put in bike racks and make it easy for people to hang out there and linger. I think it's really great, but we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I do think I carry a lot of privilege in terms of like my flexibility of schedule. I think it colors my opinion a lot, because IndyGo is great, but it's not. The thing like I always think about is like if I wanted to go to the Near East Side,
Yeah.
I have to go all the way to the transit center and then hop on a connector to go to the East Side. So by going all the way to the transit center, I'm already doing an hour, and then to potentially like have to wait for a connector,
Yeah.
which would take a number of minutes more, and then like versus driving to the Can or Amelia's or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like 15 minutes.
Or even the like difference of the frequency of a normal bus versus rapid transit bus.
They're working on that.
Yeah.
Some of the normal buses have higher frequency. Than
I love that you
rapid
have a partnership with IndyGo too.
Not actively.
Well, I mean, you did the park to park walk,
Yeah.
and you got some bus passes for so many first time riders.
25.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
That makes me giddy.
It would have been more, but we had to reschedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those listening who also don't follow on Instagram, I did a 12 mile, 12 and a half,
Yeah.
13.
Started at
mile
the
walk.
Indianapolis Art Center, ended at Garfield Park, took the Monon all the way down the Cultural Trail, and then how did you go from there?
We walked past your office
Because
downtown.
Shelby.
We walked past your office downtown, through the circle north, and then out the circle south. Walked slightly east towards we followed the Cultural Trail under the parking garage near Gamebridge,
Okay.
and then walked straight down east.
Okay.
We didn't even go to Fountain Square.
I wondered. Yeah, I was like, I wonder how they're going to...
we were gonna go down Shelby, but because of all the construction.
How did East Street feel to walk down?
That's a great question because I brought that up to everyone walking.
Yeah.
It's a totally different experience because it's not.
Absolutely.
It never felt unsafe,
Yeah.
except when there was this like pickup truck, of course,
Yeah.
that had like a semi truck horn, and he honked at us, like clearly trying to get like a reaction.
Yeah.
It was so loud. I actively left the ground like a cat.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? It hurt my
Yeah.
ears. I don't know. That was the
Yeah.
only time I felt. And again, I think there's an important distinction to make between feeling unsafe and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable, like deeply,
I
but
see,
like
yeah.
I would never felt unsafe walking down East.
Good.
It's just very clearly like not as like green and not
Yeah.
as catered to the
You
human.
guys should make it an annual thing. It was
thinking
fun.
biannual.
I was a wuss. I only did it halfway. I got tired.
My right foot still hurts.
Oh my God. I was gonna say I was sore for like, I don't know, probably till at least Tuesday. Today's what, Wednesday?
Well, you did a lot the day before too,
This
which
is
I did
true.
too. So I
Yeah.
biked 17 miles
Yeah.
and then walked 13 miles.
It was
over
like
the weekend.
20,000 day the day before, 20,000 steppies, which is a lot.
I think I had like I don't think 30,000 is a lot.
Yeah,
it feels
'cause
like it should have been more than
You
30,000.
went to Ujama too, didn't you?
That was on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went crazy this past weekend.
Yeah. It was fun though. I was tired.
It's fun to be tired.
I'm getting old.
It's fun to go outside, which is like the
It
whole
is, yeah.
message of the
We're
podcast.
solar powered, man. We need that vitamin D.
Is there anything else you want to talk about that you're thinking about before we move on to other stuff?
Oh, April is Arab American History Month.
Oh, I do actually want to talk about this with you.
Yes, yeah,
So I'm half Lebanese Syrian is the term I use now. You're
Yeah.
half Lebanese.
yeah.
Well, and that's sort of how we connected. But like, for you personally,
Yes.
I guess what does it mean to be Arab American? But also like, do you connect with do you feel like a certain level of connection with someone else when they're like,
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I love my mom's side of the family, and I love like we had a belly dancer at my graduation open house.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, I have a fun picture to show you. It's like and I know that like when I'll bring my friends to like weddings and stuff, and there's a belly dancer and there's the dub key and there's like all this fun dancing, people are just like, where am I? This is so cool. And I love my mom's side of the family so much for that. And just like the food is so good. It's my comfort food. And I don't know, I think that my family's history in Indianapolis is really beautiful when it comes to like cultural tourism, and my uncle's own restaurants and a construction company. And my grandmother was an incredible entrepreneur. And I think about like the legacy they've built in the city, and it makes me really proud. But then also just realizing that someone's also Middle Eastern, no matter what country. Our dear waitress today was Palestinian, and I don't know, I just like want to hug everybody, especially because I think that the politics of the Middle East are so nuanced and complicated and heart-wrenching, and yeah, I don't know.
And because of the British.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I enjoy it immensely, and I love connecting with people that are also Middle Eastern or Arab.
Yeah. Great answer.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
Woo!
we're going to move on to what I call the canned questions.
Ooh.
Third Space Indy is sponsored by City Rising.
Hell yeah, Mark Lotta.
He doesn't like when I say his name. It's just City Rising now.
I accidentally, in the Walk Bike Summit thing, I called it City Uprising. And
That's hilarious.
And he was like, it's not uprising. I'm like, oh, sorry, went too far. But I was also like, why not?
City Rising is a social impact studio.
Yes.
Most recently, they implemented an eviction data dashboard that looks to highlight and reduce the impact of the over 30,000 evictions, mostly affecting Black and Latino women Indianapolis faces every year. Learn more at cityrising.org.
Oh, yeah.
City Rising has sponsored a question, which is, what is a third space to you?
Let's see.
Why'd you grab your wallet?
I don't know.
Is that a tick?
Maybe it's because sometimes you feel like you have to spend money in a third space. You know what I mean? Like, if it's at a restaurant. I'm trying to think of like just a building community space.
Well, think about it more emotionally. What does it mean?
Emotionally.
And then maybe you'll reach the other end.
When I think about, what does it mean for a third space?
Do you want me to run with the definition again?
Yeah.
So a third space, so you have three spaces. You have your home, which is your first space.
Yeah.
Your work, which is your second space.
Yeah.
And then anywhere outside of those other two spaces
Yeah.
that you can go exist with other people and build community. The primary function of which is to have conversation, which I know you love doing.
Yes.
And I love doing also. So maybe where do you go to talk?
Our streets and our trails. When I think about what we did at 16th and Monon this weekend.
Hashtag on message.
Also too, like, it was genuinely, like, even the cars that were slowing down were rolling down the windows to interact with us.
At the 16th Street
It was literally
crossing.
like breaking the wall between cars and pedestrians. And I think about, like, when you drive somewhere and you go to point A, point B, you are by yourself, you're in isolation. But when you are out on your feet or on a bike or whatever, you see so many more people and connect with so many more people than you would have otherwise, whether you know them or not, right? I think that our streets and sidewalks are third spaces. I think our porches, I think our, backyards with bonfires. Like, I think about that as a essential third spaces.
So shout out to Carlos of 16X Monon. Is that what he says? 16X Monon?
Carlos, Tanya,
Did he say 16X Monon?
Megan Jefferson, 16X Monon.
Okay, I didn't know if the X was pronounced or not. So the 16th Street crossing where the Monon Trail, which is the pedestrian trail here in Indianapolis, crosses 16th Street, which I said, was previously one of the more dangerous pedestrian crossings in the city. So this past weekend, Andrea and myself helped volunteer with the effort to reduce the traffic speed, which involved painting a beautiful mural and putting in some bollards and whatever. One moment that really stuck out to me was this guy rolled down his window and he goes, "What are you all doing here?" Like, he kind of said it like a little like
annoyed
to your face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like a street mural to like slow down traffic to make it safer to cross the street. He goes, I like that. Thank you all for doing this.
Yes, yeah.
And Carlos was like, he goes, I thought that guy was about to fight you. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But I think like that, like when I go on Twitter, which I shouldn't do because it's full of Nazis.
Yeah.
And I see this guy complaining about this community effort. Like there was a lot of people there volunteering.
There were over 100 volunteers, 4 incredible artists leading it. Shout out to Lily Group.
Shout out to Megan Jefferson, first guest of the
yeah.
pod.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. That's so cool.
Like this is a community effort, and like when I see people on Twitter being like, I can't believe they're doing this. That's a street for cars or whatever. It's like, that is not a real person. Like that person has never used the Monon Trail.
No.
They have probably don't even drive down 16th Street.
I get into like protective mama bear mode, and when GPW posted about it, there was somebody, being like, you're out here painting cutie pie murals and you should be resurfacing my street. And I'm like, these are apples and oranges. No comparison. This is literally a community-led effort. Mm-hmm. Thank you to DPW for allowing it to happen. But it's not DPW literally doing the labor. It's community members.
It was me.
It was like,
I don't even live there.
I was like lifting heavy shit. I was like, my back hurts, right? And I'm sitting here just like, when it's community led and owned, it feels really different. And like Courtney Hawk reminded me, like, sometimes we spend too much time waiting for like the government to save us when really like we're the ones that are gonna save ourselves.
Yeah. Shout out to Anderson York.
Yes. Love you, Anderson.
He likes when I say his name. It's funny. Follow-up question to I did really enjoy.
What time do you have to be at draft?
6:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I got this time. Dude, look at those giant pizzas.
Woo! Good fellas.
So yeah, shout out to Carlos and 60 Next to Monon. That was great. And even though I don't live there, I use that trail regularly, so I felt compelled to go assist.
Oh.
Follow-up question to the previous question.
Yeah.
What is a third space or place that has existed for you previously that no longer does?
That's a hard one.
It's self-reflective.
Yeah, what's your answer?
I don't want to color your answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've never had a community space you used to hang out? So, yesterday/last week.
There was one in Fletcher Place. It was like a Fletcher Place community center. I forget what's there now. I feel like it's a marketing agency or something. I don't know. But, whew, did you see that?
A bug or something?
Just fly up my nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was Fletcher Place Community Center and doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I feel that's all I've got. It's not a very good answer. Sorry.
What about, like, I'm not trying to push any sort of answer on you.
Yeah, you are.
And also, it's technically sort of like your place of work, but when you worked for the city or the municipal government, was there a level of like camaraderie you had with other employees? If not, I can just skip that on it.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm still connected to a lot of awesome people that work for the city. I'm not going to let a few rotten apples ruin my experience of being a government worker. I will say I'd go back in an instant. It's really beautiful, challenging work, but feels good. It's fun to be on the other side, kind of pushing for better. And I feel like I learned a lot while I was there, but then you can only do so much before, that culture of no is very pervasive. And budgets are tight and all of the other restrictions that, city governments all across Indiana, not just the city of Indianapolis, have with how I think it was SB 2 or whatever. So cities and towns across Indiana are having major budget deficits, right? And I think that makes it really frustrating to be a government employee. Sometimes you'll hear about people's workloads and it's really like they should have like a project coordinator or some people under them, but they're literally managing it all. So yeah, I don't know. I know so many good, awesome folks at DPW and at parks and yeah, just all across the board. So I think it's a challenging job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to DPW. Even though they get a bad rap, I think they do good work. And the workers who work for them are
Yeah.
out here
Yeah.
fucking slaying.
Yeah. Picking up the trash, keeping the city, like the things that like I don't know, I think maybe can be taken for granted, like the normal things that you expect from like the snow removal, the other things.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we live in
yeah.
a big city, like geographically large city.
yeah.
And I think that critics of the local government don't always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And it's not that the workers are not doing their very best. It's
Yeah.
that the system above them is not
yeah.
empowering them to.
Yeah. And the
Or not even necessarily
the
them
system above
empowering
the
enough.
system too,
Yeah,
like
that's
the way that like
The system above the system.
the no commuter tax and all the people that drive on our roads and want to bitch about our potholes and then go back to Hamilton County and drive on their
Ham
smooth, perfectly salted roads, right? But
Can I tell
like,
you an experience that I had recently?
so much more money than us when
Can I
it
tell you
comes
an
to that.
experience I had recently?
let's
It
hear it.
actually genuinely made me angry.
Let's hear it.
Last week,
Rage bait.
I rode my bike from my house.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning. I woke up and I said, I don't want to ride south anymore, so I'm going to ride north. So I rode my bike from my house up the Monon north to Hamilton County to
Okay.
Carmel proper.
Damn.
About 45 minutes. It's like 8 miles both ways. Boop, boop.
How awesome is
Or
Midtown?
8 miles up, 8 miles back.
How
sorry.
dreamy is Midtown Plaza?
That's not the part that made me
Okay.
angry. As soon as you cross into Hamilton County,
Okay. So 96th Street.
I believe that's where it was.
That's the border.
As soon as I crossed the county line, on the Monon, there was a public restroom.
Yep.
It made me so
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah. And a working water fountain.
It was beautiful, and
Yeah.
it made me so mad.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like there was no desire to live in Hamilton County. It was more like, I want this.
This is what and it should be. It should be something. Yeah.
Speaking about downtown Carmel, my good friend Jeffrey Topkins, who I will bring up a little later on.
Jeffrey.
The first time I visited Carmel, which was sometime in the summer last year, I texted him. I said, "What do you think of Carmel?" And he just replies very simply, "It's Disneyland." And I think that is
Oh.
the truest statement of all
Yeah.
time. One thing that really stuck out to me about it, especially being on my bike this time, because last time I went I drove, is that there is this beautiful infrastructure there that is exactly the type of space I want to exist in.
Yeah.
But no one uses it. And it's,
Really? You thought like it just wasn't a busy day or something?
I mean, it was Tuesday at like 10 a.m.
Okay.
So I can give them that. But like, those people don't work. People who live in Hamilton County don't have real jobs.
I don't know.
You're,
I don't know if I don't know if I'd make that generalization.
but it stuck out to me recently. I really think I would desire to do the same thing I did that day, but like on a Friday,
Yeah.
just to
See the difference.
But the current leader of the Strong Towns chapter up there, his name's Jordan.
Yeah.
I talked to him about this, and he said he agreed with me, actually. And something he said that I found really compelling is that he goes, I wish Carmel had a college, because people who are college age would utilize this area incredibly well.
Yeah.
Because when you're in Midtown Carmel, is that what it's called?
Midtown Plaza.
Midtown Plaza. It reminds me of Bloomington, actually.
Yeah.
Like Bloomington, Indiana. Like this beautiful.
Yeah. A lot of urbanists say that like the last time you live in like a truly walkable area in a 15-minute city is a college town.
Mhm.
And I do think that's Interesting concept for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
But anyways, I think I don't want Indianapolis to be exactly like that, but I do think there are echoes of what we could be.
Oh, absolutely.
in there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of potential.
I think when I go to the Broader Development meeting and they're like, we don't want roundabouts, I'm like, shut up. Like that's like the least of your worries right now.
Yeah.
You should be worried about how the storefronts are.
I didn't go to that meeting, but I did see that AI slop.
You sure did. Okay. Every episode, I ask a question from the previous guest.
Oh.
The previous guest, his name is Ethan Rossick. He
Okay.
is the meteorologist at Fox 59. Not a meteorologist at Fox 59, also a very good friend of mine.
Cool.
Ethan asks, what is a community space around Indianapolis you have been wanting to go to or try, but you haven't yet, and why? That ended up rhyming.
Let's see. A community space. I feel like,
Or a third space.
yeah.
Whatever.
It's been a few years, but I'm gonna say it Belmont Beach. Cool. Also, I don't know
That's
if you
nice.
know where the beer castle is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going away, I heard.
Yep. I also heard that.
So maybe I should go visit that one before
You can
it
do it
goes.
Friday on the beer castle ride.
I can't. I'm busy.
Oh, that's right. I'll be
Friday
there
field
too.
trip with Will Hazen.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be too late by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, real quick, what do you find compelling about the beer castle?
This, I don't know, the spray paint that looks like a castle, and then you can go around it and then kind of traverse this little like rocky dam area, but feels like you're living on the edge.
Yeah. And I think they call it the beer castle because people drink beer there. Or okay. For those listening, the beer castle is like the 16th. Am I not allowed to share?
No, I was
like
like,
a-
I think
It's
it's
the 16th Street Bridge, right?
it's before the 16th Street Bridge, but it's across from Belmont Beach. It's where the Emmericksville Dam is.
Yeah, because Belmont Beach is on the south side of the
Correct.
16th Street Bridge, but it's on the
Yeah.
east side of the river.
I'm like, let me pull
Right.
this up.
Beer Castle.
Google Maps.
Keith Hutchison brought this up, actually, Beer Castle.
Beer Castle proper permanently closed.
Wait, yeah, you can look it up on Google Maps.
So there it is. There, and then Rocky area, Dam,
Belmont Beach.
Belmont Beach.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty awesome. Then 16th Street Bridge is right there.
Okay, so before we wrap up,
Yes.
I actually do want to talk about one more thing.
Yeah.
It's going to come out after this occurs.
Okay.
But this is going to be a regular series. Friday Field Trips.
Yes.
Can you tell people what Friday Field Trips is?
Yeah, it's where you take the end of your Friday and you go hang out with people and talk about nerdy things like transportation history or infrastructure and classical pieces of art or what else? Major Taylor. I'm trying to think of other field trips we've got cooking. Oh, Tucker Bourne. Do you know Tucker?
Yep. He's the
Signal guy.
Signal guy.
He's the best.
I want to meet him. I haven't met him.
He's wonderful. And we want to do a field trip at the DPW sign shop.
Can I get a sign?
Yeah. I don't know if you can get a sign, but maybe we could like make signs out like Marissa and
Third Space Indy
Kayla did.
sign.
That'd be cute. You need one. I don't know how you get on their good graces list. They do
I'm
follow you
gonna.
on
They do follow me on Instagram.
DM.
Yo,
have
if
the
you
power
listen to
to
this and you work for DPW, or you have access to a street sign company and you want to donate a Third Space Indy sign,
I'll get you one made.
I would love that. That's so funny. I'll hang it behind me.
Can't be that hard.
uh,
But doesn't that sound fun?
no, it sounds incredible.
It sounds so cute and fun. Yeah. So
Oh.
we want to keep doing the Friday field trips.
Friday
Yeah.
Field Trips.
Yeah.
First Fridays?
I don't know if it's going to be first Friday.
Because the first one's on First Fridays.
Yeah. I think it's just whenever it works out for the people that we're going to be having hosts. So
Got it.
like my friend Beth with the Indiana Historical Society, this worked out for her. We also have some cool partners like
Beth Brandon, my goat. Is that
yes,
yours?
the Metropolitan Planning Organization, Rethink 6570 Young Professionals, Kayla at IndyGo, I'm probably missing strong towns.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a lot of people that care deeply.
Our bald king.
Kate.
But-
Kate's the best. He
Yeah.
took
I've
so
never met
many
him.
great pictures. What? He was at 16th and Monon.
He left before I got there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
told him, well, there's a meeting Saturday. I'm going to meet him at, I think.
Are you gonna go?
I plan to.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on this weekend.
There's too much. If I have the energy, I'll go, but I'm feeling a little tired.
I'm locked in, baby. I'm just one last thing. I
Yes.
know I said just one last thing, but another
Yeah.
last thing. The Walk and Bike Summit,
Yes.
which will also be over by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Can you explain what this is to me in Michael terms?
Yeah.
And then like what it means for you to be like one of the prime organizers of this
Yeah.
thing?
It's something Health by Design organized back in 2018, and we've wanted to do it since.
Oh, it hasn't happened since then?
It hasn't happened in how many years has it been since I'm not a math girl? 7? 8 years. So it's really exciting to have it back again. It does take a lot of staff energy to promote and to get sponsors and all sorts of things. So I don't think it's going to be an every year thing, but we're bringing together professionals from across the state. They could be in advocacy, they could be a nonprofit, they could be a traffic engineer, they could be, like a retired person that cares deeply and they're an activist who has the, time to do this kind of thing. A lot of planners. Who else am I missing? I'm really excited. Today I got connected with
Ben Soli will be there.
yeah, Ben Soli, a musician
I'm apparently the only one who knows that.
coming
who that
up
is.
from Kentucky. And we've got another guy who is a transportation expert, owns his own firm. He's done a little bit of work in Indianapolis, but he has a podcast called Arrested Mobility, which in the transportation circles is a big one. So yeah, I think
The
that
podcast or the term arrested mobility?
the podcast. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like transportation kind of connects to everything.
Everything connects to everything. You can draw.
I know. We're getting
Listen,
philosophical.
no, I'm going to leave it at this, which is the amount of times I have looked at my wife and said,
Let's just walk
this
there.
thing is what?
Let's just walk there.
No. This thing is this way because of capitalism. Is like infinite.
Yeah.
The biggest one is like lawns, front lawns.
Yeah.
And they actually make me mad now. But yeah, that's what I'll leave it at. But yeah, let's wrap it up. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not really.
One last question. What question would you like to ask the next Third Space Indy guest? It does not have to be related to Third Space's Indianapolis.
Does it have to be serious or can it be
transportation.
goofy?
It can be absolutely wacko.
Yeah. One
It can
that
be deeply inappropriate, which is
No, I'm gonna keep it clean. So let's see. This is a fun one. So like you're a famous musician, hypothetically. What is in your rider? Like
a
how, like-
rider.
yeah, like
RIDER.
yes. Like
Like you want. I want.
like you want like San Pellegrino and Prosecco and only green M&Ms. Like what are your like snacks?
What's your most annoying like rider that you're? I want like a fresh pair of Crocs.
So weird if you become like big podcast influencer and you go to a green room and they say what would you like in the green room, you're gonna ask for Crocs.
No.
Yeah, that's silly.
Oh yeah, if I
I'm
actually
saying,
were,
like snackies and drinks and
I'm like not needy.
okay, but if you
You
wanted
looked at
to,
me like I was lying.
if you wanted to be a diva for a day,
I need pizza from Pizzeria Ruby in Rogers, Arkansas, flown in fresh.
wow, that's insane.
Well, you said diva.
What's the best pizza in Indy?
Okay, I've been watching the Dave Portnoy videos that he did from the Final Four, and I haven't been there, but the video that looked the best
Sam's.
is unfortunately in Noblesville, which is Brooklyn Char.
Okay.
So if I were to ask Indianapolis specifically, like Marion County,
Yeah.
so far it is Sam's Square Pies.
Okay.
However, that Brooklyn Char video, I
You
do
need
not
to-
want to go to Noblesville, but I will for this.
Is that what you want your free meal to be for winning the driving challenge?
I'm not going to. That's so. We are not going to drive for doing the drive less challenge. That sounds stupid. All right,
Is it over?
that's it.
That's a wrap.
Andrea Watts, if you want to be found, where can the people find you?
Yeah. I'm on Insta. I'm
What's
on
your handle?
Andrea M. Watts.
All one word?
And yes. And yeah,
What's your middle name?
Milia.
Milia? Not Amelia.
Yes.
Millia.
Melia. It's my
Oh.
great grandmother's name. Yeah.
Amelia.
Yeah. Milia.
Anywhere else you want to be found?
Not really.
Health by Design?
Yeah. Follow Health by Design and
Is it Health by Design on all the platforms?
mhm.
We need to work on your plugging.
yeah. I'm not very prepared. Remember when I asked you what I could do to prepare?
You don't just know your handles on your socials?
I should be better. Are you gonna cut this or is it just me? Health by Design IN. Because I think
That's
Health
right.
by Design was taken.
I'm sure there's more than one Health by Design.
Yes.
Health by Design IN on Instagram and other platforms. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for watching or listening to this episode of Third Space Indy. You can find me at Third Space Indy on Instagram or by going to thirdspaceindy.com where I put the show notes and a blog. Thank you to City Rising for sponsoring the podcast, and thank you to Proformus.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Proformus is an urban planning and design firm that helps neighbors and communities shape the place they already love, based in Indianapolis.
Oh.
They're here to help you make your place happen one block at a time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeffrey Tompkins,
Yes.
who will be at the Walk and Bike Summit.
Yes. He's a speaker.
Yes, he is. Thank you to the sponsors, and thank you to the local artist Junison, as always, for allowing me to use your song, Scared Rabbit, as the intro music. Thank you so much for watching again. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
We can't hug.
We can hug.